Shalom. I'm out here today spending some time with the Most High Yahuwah. Had some time with my boys today at a park that I used to spend time with my daughters and my husband, all of us together as a family. Today I was a 39-year-old master's in counseling graduate, passed my licensing exam, completed my internship at OSP, the maximum security prison, men's prison in Salem, Oregon, and yet having to be supervised to have visits with my children. I live in what they call America. It's the corporate United States, where they continue to abduct, what they call legally kidnap people's children for profit every day. Hundreds of thousands of kids. Late Congresswoman Nancy Schaefer spoke about this. You can thank all of the CEOs or so-called presidents. Miss Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, they had a big hand in passing the Adoption and Safe Families Act, which they, of course, named it that and made it sound all pretty inside, and that went off of a former act that was in place. I won't go into all of that right now, but they continue to incentivize their criminal acts. These are professional criminals who are stealing people's children, and they're continuing to do it, and they're now attacking so-called immigrant children. My warning to anyone who is thinking about coming to this nation is don't, because they built this nation off the backs of so-called blacks, enslaving them, giving no restitution to them. They've put Native Americans on reservations, the worst pieces of land possible, and made all types of treaties and promises. They've treated so-called Hispanics and other so-called aliens horribly. You come here thinking that this is the land of the free, the home of the brave, and you look for the American dream, the white picket fence, and that's all just an illusion. Yes, some people do rise up and are able to make it, because that's how wickedness works. But for the most part, people are just slaves. They are nothing to those in seats of power, and children are there for profit as well. Our health, all of the pharmaceuticals, all the stuff in our water, food, and air. So I would say do not come to this place, because you will be a target and you will become a victim to the tyranny and treason, the racketeering, the fraud, the monopolies, the silencing of the truth, the modern day COINTELPRO, modern day human trafficking. Unless you just choose to toe the line, do as you're told like a good little servant. But if you want to try to protect your children, if you want to speak up, speak the truth, talk about the cures for cancer that have been around for a long time. You talk about the negative effects and the skyrocketing rates of autism, the effects of fluoride on children and our brains, geoengineering, chemtrails, the leaking of poisons into our water, codex, the stripping away of vitamins and minerals in our land and our foods, Monsanto taking over the farmers, silencing everyone, stealing the seeds, using pesticides to kill and destroy, the pharmaceutical companies and psychotropic drugs and the DSM, the counseling psychologists, psychiatrists, diagnosing people with mental disorders wherever they can, making different types of human behavior that are not normal or natural as good and honorable and moral, and any type of act that actually has any support to families and procreating, making the world a better place, healthier. Anyone who comes and attacks their system is some type of a threat towards that system, becomes a target. But even if you're not voicing anything, you're a target on a different level, because they feed off of people, their children. They tax people to death here. And they own and control all the media. They're buying up, there's land grabs, the enforcement, just like back in Nat Turner's day when he rose up, they had the enforcers come out and all the statutes and codes and policies and procedures, everything in place was to back up those people who were making those unlawful laws and having people go out to round up so-called blacks to kill them, just like when they use their babies as crocodile bait. You don't think that things are going to come back around to this nation? It's coming back around. And all those who have a hand in the corruption, who continue to live the lie and support it, will give account for the blood on their hands. So I'm walking around on this trail where I used to be on my horse with my children, trying to spend time with them, to pour as much time and energy into them as possible. And today I'm by myself. Yahuwah is doing something in me. I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't know exactly what his purpose is, but I'm seeking and I'm trying to understand. I'm praying and crying out for him to avenge me of my enemies, mine and my husband's, and to work in us for his will to be done, to work in our children and our families according to his will, to bring justice, judgment, to have all the lies be exposed, and those who have spoken ill and made false testimonies against us, for them to be ashamed, for all the words of judgment to be returned to them who have sent them out, all the traps, all the snares, all the stones that have been rolled out to be returned to those people, the wicked people against Yahuwah's people. I pray that I would be found worthy to escape what is coming. I pray that I am one of his children, that I endure till the end. And I just pray for his protection and his continued favor and mercy I don't deserve. Just wanted to make this video because I'm out and about, and I went to Mexico a couple years ago with my daughters, my youngest son, and I just found out I was pregnant to try to get away from the wicked people here, to try to escape because they tormented my family for a year. They threatened us. They forced my husband and I to divorce, all off of false allegations. Wanted us to go through their kangaroo courts, to contract with them and their service providers, to take polygraphs, to take evaluations, to do all of this. We have people who have been through this before, and we know them personally. And we also have people in different positions who helped us to make decisions to not fall into their traps. But in doing so, it still keeps us away from our children. Doing the other would have us be further ensnared in their contracts and their cat litter box. And that's how this works. There's no true court of justice, no true court of record, no jury of one's peers, no due process. They're dragging us into jurisdictions unknown, kangaroo courts. And today, my husband has no criminal record. I only have parental interference from CPS using my ex-husband of a 10-year terrible marriage to come in and to keep me from my daughters and to have me pay the courts in order to be able to have supervised visits with them, to only be able to see my boys here and there under supervision. That's what this land is. This is what this land does to people who have lived their life trying to do what they believe is right, to go to school, to work. Yet, under the color of law, they are imprisoning and they are trafficking families and children. And they're getting away with it because people don't see it, don't understand it, and they become part of the problem instead of the solution. Today's foster care is not the solution. You see, there's a problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem. They know what the reaction is going to be, and they present a solution. Today we have infertility. We have all kinds of things going on with people's health. So there's a big demand for children, for babies. You can go online and see the foster care sites. It goes pretty deep. The churches are involved. These people who think that these children are just abused and neglected, and that's why they're having this trauma. But no, these cases are built off of families, some who just have had a hard time, that need actual services and support, and other ones, like my family, who were just destroyed by them. Wicked people use this system to retaliate because it's an unlawful, corrupt system. And people are doing that all the time. I look at this huge tree of Yahuwah's. So look at it, how long it's been around. Well, these wicked people, they've been devising these tactics for a long time. And they're there for one another, not for people. They look at people as if they're nothing, dehumanize them, just like they've done with so-called blacks, treating them like less than, Native Americans, so-called Hispanics, and many so-called whites who are poor along the way as well. This is about people who have an agenda and are getting away with kidnapping. Do not come to this nation if you care for your family, if you care for your children, if you care about yourself. Get the word out. Let people know. It's wrong what has been done. I'm sorry for any privilege that I have acquired because of my so-called whiteness, because of anything that puts me in a place where I was ignorant to know what was going on, and I benefited off of someone else's sweat and tears and blood. I pray that the Most High Yahuwah grows me in His truth, continues to, and helps me to help other people, to have a voice and to tell their stories. And for those who are guilty beyond measure, to be held accountable. The Most High Yahuwah says that He will repay people's deeds. And I am thankful for that. I can't get back everything that's been taken from me and my children. The lies, the dysfunction, the damage and trauma that's been done to our relationships. And the programming, conditioning, indoctrination that continues to be done by people who just don't know. Who think that people who speak out about these things, that they have a problem. And try to discredit them. I don't know how else to do it but to speak about what is going on. And I say, don't trust me, research it. I thank you for kind of following me on my trail and praying that the Most High orders my steps and helps me to fulfill my purpose as I try to take it one day at a time, one step at a time, without my children. And knowing that so much has happened that can't be undone. And I'm not the only one. There's many, many out there today. Please take the time to listen to people's stories and to hear and to support people who are trying and who are speaking out. My Akut, Lady Shell, 1978, YouTube, and Mrs. S, and so many others are being attacked right now, have been falsely imprisoned, have been made out to be something they're not, for caring about their children, for not wanting to put poisons in their body, for nursing them, for giving them organic, all the things that we think as parents we need to protect our children from. And we find out that there's so much more, and that we are targets, and that these people who are making these policies are ignorant. There's many useful idiots, but those in control, those that top 1% of the wicked have their own agendas and are destroying families and people and our children. And it won't end until we say no more. Now there's so much more with what's going on and what the Most High Yahuwah is doing. But I'm meaning for what we can do in our own voices and power to do what's right. Because Yahuwah's word doesn't return void, and judgment is coming. But we can do the right things as we go along. We have a part to play, whatever that is, and we need to seek. Sometimes it's patiently waiting, but we have actions and obedience always, and a belief in Him, turning away from all the wicked things of this pagan world, and to embrace the truth. To stand up for the nation of Yasharel, to know that it's not just about one family, one person, one child. It's about all of us. And for those who are not of Yasharel, there's people from other nations who will wake up and who will embrace the truth and continue to grow in it according to the Most High Yahuwah's will. Yahuwah's will be done for those who choose or who do not wake up to walking in His ways. And vengeance will come by Him. We each have a purpose. He will fulfill it. He will use the wicked for His people to return them to Him, and He will use His people to help one another. And He will also use the wicked to bring assistance. Treat everyone in a way that is right, because we don't know who exactly is who. And it's really up to the Most High Yahuwah who He will show favor and mercy on. Treat everyone in a way that is right. We don't turn our cheek to those who slap us and this and that. We use our voice and we speak up. We've been indoctrinated and we've been lied to. But we have to be wise. We have to use principle. And we have to use discernment. There is a time and a place for everything. And there's nothing new under the sun. Yahuwah will prevail. He is the one who is orchestrating everything. Let's look at Job. He knew. He knew that it was the Most High who giveth and He taketh away. I praise Him. And I thank you again for just joining me on this walk as I've kind of turned around and gone different ways. This beautiful creation. Shalom.